Braulio, thank you very much for joining us here at your pavilion here in Rio. You've come here for the start of Oceans Day, which is a day focusing on all the aspects of the oceans. Do you feel that this is in some ways, a neglected issue when we look at biodiversity and ecosystems?
Yes, we do. And that's exactly why the CBD has chosen the issue of marine biodiversity as its theme to commemorate the International Biodiversity Day this year. We have made a lot of progress with terrestrial ecosystems, but clearly efforts towards conservation in the marine areas are lagging behind. So there's a need for a much stronger effort to really deal with the marine challenges, which are very big. All the pollutions that we produce goes one day sooner or later to the seas. We have tremendous problems of overfishing everywhere. We have issues of invasive species. We have global warming, ocean acidification. Some ecosystems like mangroves and coral reefs are very much threatened. There's a possibility in the coming decades, if we do not manage to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, most existing coral reefs will disappear. So that's a real challenge. So we need a much stronger collective effort to face these challenges, because they're not very easy. It relates to social and economic drivers. That's a challenge. What we're doing now under the CBD is identifying, with the help of scientists, which are the most critical areas in the oceans all over the world in terms of biodiversity and ecological processes, where we should focus our attention for conservation and management measures. The other thing is to enhance our support to the countries, especially the developing countries, so they have better capacity to face these challenges. And also a major challenge for us is to promote the so-called mainstreaming of the biodiversity agenda to the other sectors, to the development sectors. There's no way we will meet the Aichi targets that we agreed in Nagoya in 2010 if we do not promote this mainstreaming, because most of the problems that exist are created in the development sectors. So we have to reduce the perverse incentives, create positive incentives, and promote the necessary partnerships between development and conservation.
Is it an issue that no one really owns the oceans, so it's a real struggle to get countries to accept responsibility?
It is, because outside the areas of national jurisdiction, which are very narrow strips of seas along the coast, most of the oceans are what we call the high seas beyond national jurisdiction. So it's a no man's land. And it is a concern of countries, but it has proven difficult at the international negotiations to find agreement on how to come to agreements on how best to do that. And there's a lot of asymmetry. There's a few countries very rich and with high technology that are more capable of exploring the richness of the high seas, whereas most developing countries don't have that capacity. So there's an asymmetry issue that we have to deal with also.
And across the road, where the negotiations are ongoing, what do you think we can hope from an oceans point of view? Can we expect a strong statement, strong commitments from states, or do you think it'll be, sort of excusing the pun, but slightly watered down?
Well, these negotiations are very difficult. The meeting here is dealing with a broad agenda, and there's a lot of issues that are still in brackets. The issue of oceans is one of those that have more support from most countries. So we're very confident that this meeting will deliver some strong decisions regarding the oceans. So we're looking forward to it.
And a final one, we're in Rio, it's an absolutely stunning city. You look at the glistening beaches and the sea and the wonderful mountains and the jungle. Do you think in some way this could help focus the minds of some of those delegates when they see the visceral beauty of nature and in particular the oceans right opposite the negotiating rooms?
I hope so. This morning I was walking in a forest trail up the mountains here in the largest urban protected area in the world with 12,000 hectares. So Rio really provides a good setting for these discussions because, as you said, we have the mountains, the forests, the seas, the islands, so all integrated here. But also we have a growing population, industry, pollution, traffic, so all the problems also. So it is, I think, a very fitting venue for this discussion.